I worked at a bank, and it had that culture where you could tell if you outshined or did anything more than your boss or then hitting just enough. And then there was competition amongst the other lenders amongst each other.
Yeah.
And it was toxic. It was bad. I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. And I just couldn't imagine staying in a culture like that forever.
All right. Back with another episode of Expandable. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. This question is, why do employees leave and how do we fix it?
Okay. Well, earlier this year we had, and I've been flow over the years. You'll have leave. Sometimes it is just timing of life. Is it change?
Sure.
Get those out of the way.
Yeah, looking for something new, changing industries,
marriage. This was the
had a baby. Lots of time to have a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. This was while they're in college. So many different reasons. So you've got just natural progression of timing of life, and that was their stage and how long they wanted to be in a profession.
Yeah.
So
right.
Otherwise, leave. I think you can have. They don't like their coworkers.
Big one.
Yeah. Let's assume that they're within, I don't know about here, but Florida, I mean, to me, it was always big. How far away this place? I don't like commute.
Yeah. No, commute has gotten like a big thing. Yeah. I don't know how people do it. I can't, I don't know how they do it. Honestly, I guess because they have to.
Yeah. I mean, I've never wanted it. So I've been away from commuting. I mean, the furthest I ever had to do was for a year. It was 45 minutes. To the office and back. And I didn't like that at all. And then you hear people up north, they're like, oh, it's 2.5 hours.
I mean, that's a good point.
It's like
work from home culture is a pretty valuable thing for a lot of people. And I think whenever people can get it, people will take it. Of course they have to be able to operate in that environment, but I think if people don't have to commute, you just gave them a raise.
Yeah. So if you take out all external things, maybe a spouse transferred and all external, I would think it would have to be, pay, coworkers, their enjoyment, and then where they see they're heading in the future, upward mobility.
Yeah. I would add one more that think is the most,
well, I mean, that was
I'd say high,
culture. You're going to say culture.
Thing.
Yeah.
Now culture is the macro. I think it's a bad manager.
Okay. Well, I was going to say employee. Yeah. They kind of fell in with that.
I think employees this way and manager this way.
Yes.
Those two things are the most critical. Because you can, for the most part, if you've got a good manager, they will help you deal with a bad person. But if you don't have a good manager, you're stuck.
Yes.
I was talking to somebody the other day, the marketer. She's a VP marketer at a company in the U.S. and she is about to pull her hair out because her marketing team is killing it, and like her boss, this is the CEO, is looking at marketing and saying marketing's doing great. Like the marketing is doing great, but he is pinning her down and making her like micromanaging everything and being like just very mean. And he's not doing it to anyone else. It's like he's trying to push her out. No,
I mean, from time, so over the years, I've had a couple employees leaving and you're right, and found out it was the manager.
Yeah, I think a bad manager is like you're just stuck because it's really hard to go around them without causing a lot of, a coup or some kind of bad situation. And you can't do anything. You have to report to them and you have to do what they say.
For a time being, I worked at a bank, and it had that culture where you could tell if you outshined or did anything more than your boss or then hitting just enough. And I just couldn't believe it.
Yep.
It was wild. And then there was competition amongst the other lenders amongst each other.
Yeah.
And it was toxic. It was bad. I had files that would come off my desk from other employees that would review.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it before in my life.
It's crazy.
And it went through that. And I just couldn't imagine staying in a culture like that forever.
No.
No.
And
people they're going to look for opportunities and get out.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at all that time being it. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And
I knew I wasn't going to be there forever though. Sure. So I kind of scoffed it a little bit, but it was amazing how it was embedded, and even the employees were a part of all of that. You can tell where it was, you would have these middle managers that they wanted control, but they didn't want to be outshined. And it was just amazing that actually, so, I mean, my goal as a company is never be in the position where you have that many layers where you can't see that, where you've got good employees that are, you know, trapped.
Yes. And I agree with that 100%. I'm a big proponent of small business. You know, there's a spectrum of what
vendors
that
I
looks
work
like,
with, I think that is the position, because you'll be working with somebody in the, you know, your advocate or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, in the software world, whatever they want to put, your client success and all that, you know, but that client success person can't do anything, and they got to go through 50 steps to.
No, yeah. You have layers. Like,
so.
It doesn't work. No, I think that the coworker thing and the manager thing are the biggest things. But as it goes with everything, all roads lead back to leadership, because it's one thing to have one manager in a company that's like that. In time, that person will go away because they are the, you know,
if you start seeing repeat managers like that.
But if there's now other managers that are like that, then it's time for you to find something else, because leadership's okay with it, right? Maybe they're not okay with it, but by keeping that person there, they're telling everyone they're okay with it. And that's a company you're working for.
No.
Yeah. And if you're okay, you know, if leadership's telling you one thing, but they're doing another, that's a big problem. There's a big trust issue.
Absolutely.
there. And so that is going to be very quickly the culture. I mean, it does come back to the macro big idea of culture.
I mean, that shows that leadership, you know, because you're always going to have, you know, a company, whether you've got 10 employees and greater, at some point in time, there is going to be a manager that falls into that category. And then when leadership finds out, what do? How do they handle it?
Yeah. And I think this is a call to small business owners that have managers or are managing lots of people, that usually are, is it kind of a check up to say, okay, am I being that person? Am I being that manager to my
am I the choke point?
Yeah. And being sort of you know, open and or maybe vulnerable to asking that of your employees and saying, okay, in you know, in context for where it's appropriate, in the role that they're performing, and, you know, whatever, you know, function that they have in the company, you know, opening up those lines of communication, because a lot of people are not going to come right out and say, yeah, you're a horrible boss. But, you know, if you kind of read the context clues, you will see that people are saying one way or another. If people are leaving, that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
You know,
as that boss leaves, go in and see if their demeanor changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see they can breathe.
Yeah. And, you know, that's a case where if the manager leaves and you do, you know, some kind of audit, you're going to get pretty quickly those people. And I'll tell you
one thing that is a big proponent of is when vacations is a huge time. When you have managers leave on vacation for, sometimes you want them to go and extended 2 weeks, you know, because then that's when everything kind of uncovers itself too. So if people never take more than a day vacation at a time, you know, maybe you insist they need time for themselves and give them a week or two off.
You know, that's actually a really practical piece of advice.
That's what we do in the audit world. I mean, because that's where you reconcile and you audit.
If you could step in, like if that manager goes away and you have someone step into that role,
you do
actually, and managing the task and seeing the communication and all of that, then you're going to reveal a lot. Yeah. And that's when, if someone's really fed up below them, they're going to start to surface some of those.
Or, you know, the simple thing is, okay, they're gone, and you didn't. We've had over the years where it was like, okay, well, there wasn't like an urgency, but the work got done. Okay, one less person here. I didn't hear any urgency, and it got done. That tells you something right there.
That's right. Yeah, that's a huge thing. Yeah, no, that's good. There's a lot of reasons why people leave. To your point, I mean, they might not be a great fit for, you know, the environment. They might be a great fit aptitude-wise. All the things you mentioned on the front end, like I think a big thing is maternity leave. I think, you know, companies should have maternity leave. But especially when people have their first baby, it changes their life.
I mean, you have 2 children, daycare is a couple grand a month.
So now it's changed your whole situation, your financial situation, emotional,
absolutely,
mental.
So, I mean, depending on the positions you have, you know, you spend more money working. So
yeah, not that you're, trying to push out new moms. I'm just saying that you have to be ready for that person to go have a baby.
We've personally been in that position. Is this time for you know? So,
but they might come. Just be ready that they might come back and say, "Hey, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to work anymore, or I'm going to do something different." Don't think that
we've had that.
Come back and catch up on work.
And we've seen ones over the years, which you love. Like they have full intention, and then it's like, no, it's okay. Yeah. Things change.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll be here.
Exactly.
But all in all, they were great to work with while they're here. There's always a job open.
Yeah, but see, I think that mentality and that management style is by and large going to open the door for them to come back. My longest
reign, I rehired some, I believe, 4 times. She's always welcome back.
Yeah.
And at different locations,
but see,
because
that's awesome
the husband transferred. In different
you've
times,
given them, you've essentially given them flexibility to live their life.
Yeah,
because they were a good employee, most likely. If they weren't a good employee, absolutely. You probably wouldn't have opened the door. So they have a place, and then it's given them the freedom.
And then whenever they did leave, it was respectfully and timing, straightforward. And
if they when they come back, or if they come.
The
back,
last time I said we've had several going away parties.
You're like, we've already done 2. We're not doing 3. Okay, on to the next one.